You are with Star Television Network, Channel 21. Welcome to the News Bulletin with me, Leonora Jawara. And these are the top stories making headlines in the news today. Green Scenery has started a 5-year project on proper land governance in Sierra Leone that will transform communities in Pojon, Bombali, and Putloko districts. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Development has engaged stakeholders to provide scope and overview on revised directives and guidelines for financial institutions and the prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing for insurance and the banking sectors. The Bai Mahmoud Amphitheatre Hall has been officially commissioned at the Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation College at Newton Village in the Western Area Rural District. And in sports, Confederation of African Football has appointed the suspended General Secretary of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Mayor Joseph Kelfala, to serve in its committee. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Green Scenery has started a project on proper land governance, human rights, and accountability of large-scale land investment in Sierra Leone. The 5-year project, funded by the Irish Aid through Christian Aid, will transform communities in Pojon, Bombali, and Putloko district. Mohamed Kone reports.
This 5-year project, which is funded by the Irish Aid through Christian Aid, is aimed at contributing to reduce poverty by improving food and livelihood security through respect and protection of tenure rights of landowners and users, especially women, in rural Sierra Leone. The new project was presented to partners through an inception meeting at the Hill Valley Hotel with a clear call for cooperation to successfully contribute to reducing poverty by improving food and livelihood security through respect and protection of tenure rights of women landowners and users.
It intends to address poverty and the alleviation of food security. It is really meant to address issues of land governance as they relate to the new developments in the country, such as the voluntary guidelines and the national land policy. So if you want to examine the project itself, it's a 5-year project, and it intends to deal with policy issues, community issues, civil society issues, media issues, the interaction of Green Scenery with all of these partners, including ministries and alert members, sister alert members, and so on. So that's how the project is actually crafted.
During implementation of this 5-year project, Green Scenery will engage in activities such as research and publication to help unearth the problems in land, and will also engage in community and investment monitoring, awareness raising, human rights defender support, judicial support for community land rights activities in the targeted communities. Direct beneficiaries of the land governance project include and not limited to land-owning families and users in the targeted communities. The executive director of Green Scenery said the interests, needs and concerns of over 30,000 affected people in 30 affected locations in the country will be recognized at both national and international levels. The Ministry of Lands and Country Planning and the Environment is responsible for the promotion of voluntary guidelines on the governance of the tenure of land in the country. At present, the Land Ministry is currently embarking on developing a software called Solution to Open Land Administration to automate the workflow of the transaction that happens at the ministry.
The Ministry of Lands has been providing good land services delivery to this country. What the ministry is hoping to do is to put the land management and administration in an electronic format, so that by a press of a button, you are able to understand exactly who owns what, where that place is, what the quantum, and how you can get the owner of that particular piece of land. So in order to be able to achieve this, with support from the FAO, we have developed a software that is called Solution to Open Land Administration.
At the end of Green City Land Governance Project, communities and women will be included in all forms of dialogue, consultation, and decision-making processes. For Star Television News, this is Mohammed Kone in Freetown.
Now, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development has engaged stakeholders to provide scope and overview on the revised directives and guidelines for financing institutions on the prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing for insurance and the banking sectors. Waida Sise reports.
The activities of anti-money laundering and financing terrorists can undermine the integrity and stability of financial institutions and systems, while discouraging foreign investment. It is believed that without money laundering and terrorism, there will be a societal benefit in terms of economic stability and security. To achieve the combating of anti-money laundering and terrorism in Sierra Leone, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development has engaged its stakeholders at the ministry's conference hall in Freetown to provide scope and overview on revised directives and guidelines for financial institutions on the prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing for insurance and the banking sectors.
Directives and guidelines issued by the Bank of Sierra Leone are not issued lightly. These represent a fundamental change in the direction that the financial industry is going. So I would ask you to please do two things for me today. As we go in and we listen to the remarks that come, etc., please pay close attention, not only to the words that are being said, but also the sentiments that are being expressed. And then second, take those expressions of words and sentiments back to the institutions that you represent, and let us make the changes that are necessary for Sierra Leone.
You have a raft of core issues that raises certain questions. For instance, under this particular immediate outcome, the core issues that will be considered in determining if the outcome is being achieved will include how well does licensing, registration, or other controls implemented by supervisors or other authorities prevent criminals and other associates from holding or being the beneficial owner of a significant or controlling interest or holding a management function in financial institutions. How well are breaches of such licensing or registration requirements detected?
Anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorist activities are all likely targets. No country is exempted. While money laundering and the financing of terrorism can occur in any country, they have significant economic and social consequences for developing countries like Sierra Leone, because our market is small and therefore more susceptible to corruption from criminal or terrorist influences.
With the current growing trend on money laundering, the banking sector must be watchdogs to ensure they have full detail about their customers, with a view to prevent money laundering and terrorism financing in their different banking institutions. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Waida Sisay.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, has officially commissioned the Bai Mahmoud Amphitheatre Hall at the Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation College at Newton Village in the Western Area Rural District. Andrew Bestman has more.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, has officially commissioned the Bai Mahmoud Amphitheatre Hall at the Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation College at Newton Village in the Western Area Rural District. Speaking at the ceremony, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, who doubles as the flag bearer and presidential candidate of the All People's Congress Party, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, described the commissioning of the by Mahmoud Amphitheatre as another milestone in the history of human resource development in Sierra Leone that makes him very proud. He noted that short infrastructural development and the entrepreneurship will not only help the youth of the country in their aspiration to be responsible and productive citizens, but will also contribute immensely to the human resource development of the country. Dr. Sambura, in the light of the patriotic initiative of the parliamentary representative of the area, encouraged the students to make good use of the facility.
Here, but most importantly, in the presence of Allah, Father Mosai, get the honor and privilege for cut the tape and unveil this wonderful flag on behalf of our brother, Honorable by Mahmoud, the Minister of Youth Affairs. Thank you.
The Minister of Youth Affairs by Mahmoud Bangura said the amphitheatre hall will help the students of the college to have what he referred to as a conducive environment and a comfortable zone to organize important meetings and other community development activities. He said the construction of such a structure by a youthful nation builder clearly demonstrates the patriotism and goodwill of the young people in leadership positions in the country.
It make APC proud. It make me proud as Minister of Youth Affairs and all other young people. I believe Seweti do so a clear commitment, a clear show of your contribution to the agenda for prosperity, especially in the skills acquisition and transformation of young people for access job opportunities. Because this way you do so, it will benefit thousands and thousands more. We know Anikaya. And from today, the 300 and more where they graduate will be the first beneficiaries. And they are lucky that the next president of Sierra Leone will witness this graduation.
In an interview with the area member of parliament for constituency 95, Honorable Claude Commander said he decided to construct the complex, noting that one of the basic facilities the college lack is one short infrastructure that will make them proud.
A very historic day for the Ambassador Training College. We are in over 300 graduates who are graduated, and in the presence of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, who was the keynote speaker. On the very day we also commissioned the newly constructed Honorable by Mahmoud Amphitheatre. This amphitheatre was constructed by my very self in honor of the Honorable by Mahmoud. Reason being that the college is for young people. Young people, you know, they are the engine of the country, and they needed this facility, so therefore I decided to construct this amphitheatre for the Obasanjo Training College.
The construction of the Bai Mahmoud Amphitheatre Hall is not only a facelift, but has provided a conducive and comfortable environment for students to organize their meetings and other important activities. Andrew Bestman reporting.
And now for all the latest sporting news, let's join our sports correspondent, Hilton John.
The indicted Secretary General of the Football Association, despite he has been indicted by the Anti-Corruption Commission for alleged corruption issue, securing a good position in CAF, a committee member, and also former Vice President of the Sierra Leone Football Association, who is now the mayor of Kenema, who is J.S. Kelfala. Here is the report about the development of our two Sierra Leonean brothers. Suspended General Secretary of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Christopher Kamara, and former Vice President Joseph Kelfala has been appointed by the Confederation of African Football in the last CAF executive meeting held in Ghana on the 23rd of September 2017. CAF has appointed the following individuals from Sierra Leone to serve in the following committees. The Sierra Leone Football Association General Secretary, despite suspended by the Executive Committee because of the indictment of the anti-corruption, Christopher Kamara has been appointed to serve in the Committee for Legal Affairs and National Associations. Former Vice President of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Mayor J.S. Kelfala, has been appointed as CAF member to the Youth African Cup of Nations under 17, under 20, and under 23. According to Christopher Kamara and Mayor J.S. Kelfala, they are very delighted for this position from CAF and FIFA, and they promise to do their best. Well, wish them all the best on their new appointment in CAF as committee members, more especially the former vice president of the Sierra Leone Football Association, who is now the mayor in Kenema, J.S. Kelfala, and the indicted Secretary General Christopher Kamara. Wish them all the best. Away from the local scene in the international scene, Watford captain Thierry Dani has accepted his violent conduct charge and will serve a three-match ban with immediate effect. Dani was charged after a clash with Stoke City. Joe Allen during Watford won in home defeat on the 28th of October 2018. Dani will miss the Premier League matches at Everton on the 5th of November, West Ham visits on the 19th November, and away to Newcastle on the 25th of November 2017. He will be available for Manchester United visit on the 28th of November 2017. Watford Stoke charged by the FA with failing to control players. Dani 29 and Allen 27 were booked after spearing up an injury last Saturday in the Premier League. That's all for sports for today's edition. Back to you, Najawa, in the studio.
Well, that's all in a news bulletin file here on Star Television Network. Thank you for watching. I am Leonora Jawara. The weather forecast is up next.